Good afternoon. As you can see from the lighting, I got a new Christmas present, a ring light. So I just set it up and thought I would give it a shot here. Today, I think I'd like to read you a short story, something a little funny from my youth. And it's a little bit longer than a poem, but not too bad. So I hope you'll hang in there with me. This is Winter is upon us, and this is more of a summertime poem. So maybe it'll bring you some warmth and light. This is called Scared Straight. It was a dark and stormy night. No, really it was. It was midsummer in 1965. I can be sure of this, as that was the year we moved from the farm where I was born to a new farm. Our new house felt fresh to me, as it had indoor plumbing, a bathtub, and small gas heaters along with the big gas furnace in the living room. Our previous home had only one heat source and no bathrooms, only a creaky outhouse. Expanded over the years from an old one-room cabin to a ramshackle multi-room affair, I think it was only held together by years of accumulated dirt. Of course, our new house wasn't very new, as it would soon be a 100-year-old farm. As a matter of fact, the building, dated by the summer kitchen built many years before central air. Summer kitchens were used just as they were named. However, ours was long out of use. It yet housed the wood cook stove, but had for years been a store place for discarded objects, a history lesson of broken cabinets, kerosene lamps, and myriad objects of a bygone era. In 1965, our family was shrinking. My two older sisters were married with families of their own. My brother was recently graduated and off to the Army. His departure left Mom, Dad, baby sister, and me in our new abode. Within a year, Dad would add a small mudroom to the concrete slab in front of the main door that opened into our kitchen. This night, I stepped out of the house into the darkness onto bare concrete. I was home alone. I do not recall where Mom and Dad and sister were. Having spent my first 12 years on an isolated farm, being alone was normal, but tonight felt different. I stepped out into the quickly rising turbulence of a prairie summer storm. I must mention that a few months prior I had asked, then begged my father to let me see a horror movie at the local cinema. He relented, I think because it gave him an excuse to sit in the tavern for a few hours while I was occupied being frightened out of my wits. The movie was Straight Jacket, a Joan Crawford vehicle made in her waning years. The film described by one critic as a disgusting piece of claptrap. Of course, the point for me was that the story took place on a farm. I lived on a farm. Chicken house, we had those. Axes, we had those too. People kept getting chopped up. Murderous people came out of seemingly empty closets and abandoned buildings, hacking innocents while Hitchcockian music pulsed in the background. To be honest, it scared the living hell out of me, even to this day. The movie had me looking in closets, under beds, and jumping at shadows. Of course, this describes my state of mind when I slipped outside to inspect the coming storm. It was around 8 at night, darkness arriving a bit early because of the increasing clouds. The wind was blowing strong, running through the ancient pines, making a pitiful sigh as branches shook and swayed. The dark was near total, but flashes of lightning illuminated even more ominous clouds roiling overhead. Rumbles of thunder, building in crescendo and shaking the ground, added to the operatic quality of the night. I turned from the yard and sprang for the shelter of the house. The rain felt imminent, and the storm, along with the memories of the movie, spooked me. You know that feeling one gets, the feeling often called the willies? That's just how I was feeling. My hand reached for the door latch. At that very moment, I placed my hand on the handle. From out of the stormy dark, something goosed my butt. I screamed. Yes, I hate to confess it, but I screamed. Also, I think I made the highest jump I will ever make. My feet hit the ground around the same time my heart and stomach hit the back of my throat. I spun around and saw nothing. Then I looked down at the ground. Sitting expectantly staring at me was the neighbor's large collie, happily wagging his tail. He'd wandered the half mile to our house seeking affection, something he often did. It was his long patrician nose that had caressed my startled backside. After my panic had subsided, I petted my friend and practically leaped into the waiting arms of our new home, scared straight. Well, that's my little story and my memory. I hope you all have a great winter and a happy new year. Bye bye.